Have you ever walked into work ready to tackle the day, only to feel an overwhelming sense of dread the moment you see your boss? If so, you might be dealing with a toxic boss, someone who turns your job into a daily grind of stress, frustration, and negativity. But how can you tell if your boss is truly toxic or just having a bad day? More importantly, what can you do about it? In this video, we'll break down the key signs of a toxic boss, the different types of bad managers you may encounter, and most importantly, how to deal with them effectively so you can take back control of your career and well-being. 6 signs of a toxic boss. Before you can handle a toxic boss, you need to recognize the warning signs. Here are 6 major red flags that indicate you're dealing with a bad boss. Number 1, constant criticism and micromanagement. A toxic boss will nitpick every little thing you do, never offering praise, only pointing out flaws. No matter how hard you try, it's never good enough. If you're constantly second-guessing yourself because of relentless scrutiny, that's a major sign. Number 2, lack of respect and professionalism. Does your boss talk down to you, dismiss your ideas, or make belittling comments? A good manager values respect, while a toxic one thrives on making employees feel small. Number 3, unrealistic expectations and overworking you. If your boss expects you to meet impossible deadlines, take on workloads for 2 or 3 people, or be available 24/7, it's a recipe for burnout. Good leaders respect boundaries, bad ones push them. Number 4, inconsistency and unpredictability. One day, they're your biggest supporter. The next, they're tearing you down for the same thing they praised you for. If your boss changes their mind constantly, it creates a chaotic and stressful work environment. Number 5, blame shifting and zero accountability. A toxic boss will throw their team under the bus to cover their own mistakes. If you're always the scapegoat while they take all the credit, you're dealing with a poor leader. Number 6, emotional manipulation. Guilt tripping, shaming, or instilling fear, these are all manipulation tactics used by toxic bosses. If your boss makes you feel like their problems are your fault, that's a serious issue. 10 types of toxic bosses. Not all toxic bosses are the same. Here are 10 common types of bad managers you might come across. Number 1, the micromanager. Watches your every move, leaving no room for autonomy. Number 2, the ghost. Disappears when you need guidance, leaving you to figure things out on your own. Number 3, the bully. Uses intimidation and fear to control employees. Number 4, the credit taker. Steals your hard work and claims it as their own. Number 5, the incompetent. Lacks the knowledge or skills to lead effectively. Number 6, the workaholic. Expects you to match their insane hours and never take a break. Number 7, the favoritist. Plays favorites, rewarding some while ignoring others. Number 8, the disorganized. Never has a clear plan, constantly creating chaos. Number 9, the neglectful. Doesn't provide feedback, recognition, or career development. Number 10, the overly critical. Only focuses on mistakes, never acknowledging success. If any of these sound familiar, you're not alone, but there are ways to navigate the situation. 6 strategies to handle a toxic boss. Now that you know the signs and types, let's talk about the solutions. Here's how to deal with a toxic boss. Number 1, assess the situation and document everything. Before taking action, be sure your concerns are valid. Keep a record of specific incidents, emails, and behaviors that highlight the toxicity. This documentation is useful if you need to escalate the issue. Number 2, communicate professionally. Sometimes direct communication can help. If possible, request a private meeting to discuss concerns calmly and professionally. Focus on solutions rather than accusations. For example, instead of saying, "You micromanage too much," try, "I'd like more autonomy in my projects. Can we discuss some ways to achieve that?" Number 3, build a support system. If your boss is making your life miserable, chances are you're not alone. Talk to trusted colleagues to gain perspective and emotional support. Just be careful to avoid office gossip. Number 4, involve HR if necessary. If your boss's behavior crosses ethical or legal lines, consider reporting the issue to HR. Present your documented evidence and explain how the toxic behavior is affecting your work. Number 5, seek external support and advice. If HR doesn't provide a solution, you may need outside help. Legal advice or an employee assistance program can be beneficial if the toxicity is severe. Number 6, plan your exit strategy. If all else fails and the environment isn't improving, it might be time to look for a new job. Prioritize your mental well-being over a toxic paycheck. Start networking, updating your resume, and exploring better opportunities. How to avoid a toxic boss in the future. To prevent ending up in the same situation, here are 5 ways to avoid toxic bosses in your next job. Number 1, analyze job listings carefully. Vague descriptions or terms like fast-paced environment can be red flags. Number 2, pay attention to how they communicate. If a hiring process is disorganized, it may reflect the work culture. Number 3, ask the right interview questions. Ask about management style, team culture, and past employee turnover. Number 4, research company reviews. Look at sites like Glassdoor to see what employees say about leadership. Number 5, network and ask around. If you have connections at the company, get insider insights before accepting an offer. Dealing with a toxic boss can feel overwhelming, but remember, you're not powerless. Whether you decide to address the problem head on or find a healthier workplace, taking control of your career and well-being is always the right move. Have you ever dealt with a toxic boss? Share your experience in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more career tips. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.